welcome to the second episode of Warriors of the Grim Dark. Steve here for Who Took My Dice Miniature Wargaming. So the last episode, I said this episode would be about a Xenos race. Well, I lied. I decided after reviewing an old white dwarf from about 2010 that I would do something else. So without further ado, here we go. Right, so rattlings. What is a rattling? Let's start off here. Rattlings are abhumans. What's an abhuman? Lots of questions here. An abhuman is a species of mutant in Warhammer 40,000 that has mutated due to either some sort of social or geological event. It could be over many thousands of years, much like the Ogren, that are just giant hulking monsters that grew up on sort of high gravity worlds, so their bodies develop bigger to help them survive. This is much like the rattling. Rattlings grew up on naturally verdant worlds with abundant harvest. They became stunted by thousands and thousands of years of inbreeding. So they were human at one point, and they've obviously evolved through this inbreeding and geographical effects of their planet into rattlings, as they're called. And that is actually a derogatory term that Imperial Guardsmen have given to them. What they call themselves, you really don't know. So the worlds they live on are pretty cool. They're usually agri worlds. That's what the Imperium uses them for. They're usually self-sufficient. Unfortunately, because of a lot of the social issues they have, they don't really develop beyond anything sort of medieval. They don't really understand what guns are properly until they're inducted into the abhuman sections of regiments when they're allocated to whatever regiment they're going to. What are they like? Well, a rattling, if you think of a hobbit from the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit, they're friendly, gentle people who like to drink a lot, love food, 11 C's, second breakfast and all that, but they love to see things grow. They're peaceful. They like to stay out of trouble. Some of that's true for rattlings, but with the usual Warhammer 40,000 twist. Instead of just really loving food and drink, they overindulge. They drink and eat till they throw up everywhere. They're sick. They're they're hedonistic in the extreme. They're unambitious. They're loud. They're disgusting. They're just not people you want to be around. And they reproduce like jackrabbits. They're everywhere. So yeah, you kind of go from being a nice, gentle hobbit living in a nice, clean hole to these guys, which is obviously the twisted version thanks to Warhammer 40,000, right? They're called runtlings, stunties, halflings, just a whole bunch of really bad stuff by the guardsmen they work with. Why then are they in the Imperium? Well, they're good at a couple things. Cooking is one of them. They usually end up being taking over sort of the mess halls or kitchens, whatever, the eating areas of whatever regiment they're attached to. They also end up running the moonshine distilleries. They end up running black market stuff for all that stuff that guardsmen aren't supposed to have, but do eventually. And then the most important one, they're excellent shots. And this is what happens to most of them, where they get put. They're put in these abhuman regiments that are then seconded to the whatever Imperial regiment they're going out with, and they form sniper teams. They're horrible anything other. They're just bad warriors. And they're allowed to operate rather independently from the rest of Imperial forces, right? They go out, they cause chaos in the enemy lines, taking out generals and other leaders. A lot of the stories, you hear them in, whether it's the old codices, newer ones, them causing a whole bunch of different issues, taking out whatever leaders of units, causing problems. There was one, I believe, Magog. I think that's the one in the latest codex. He actually ended up taking out an ethereal. He saw them. He was lining up a shot. There was this Tau line of vehicles and troop transports moving through a ravine, and he saw this ethereal and took him out, and it caused chaos on the whole line. Obviously, everybody knows about the Tau rules. When your ethereal dies, it's not a great thing. It was the first confirmed kill of an ethereal, and it taught the Imperium a good way to fight them. In game terms, they kind of take that role of the sniper unit, more of a distraction unit. These aren't going to be like Space Marine scouts with their awesome sniper rifles and their ability to actually fight in combat necessary. In combat, they are just equipped with sniper rifles, flak armor, and last pistols. Their stats are pretty bland. They're not all that great. Their weapon skill is 2. They can't fight at all. Ballistic skill is 4, again with the shooting. The rest of their stat is like a typical guardsman, except their leadership is 6. Again, that's supposed to represent their sort of cowardly nature. They're really, they will scamper away, what have you. They also have the infiltrate and stout special rule. So obviously you can have them outflank or move up. They have the scout move, obviously. And with stealth, that adds +1 to your cover save. So they can actually be in a building and actually have a chance to survive, especially if you go to ground if necessary. It means they'll survive a lot of firepower, which is good. I mean, they're only, I believe, 10 points a model and starts at 3 and goes up to a max of 10. So 100 points and you got yourself 10 sniper rifles. Rifles aren't as good as they used to be. Again, they're just kind of a distractionary unit. But yeah, so that's Ratlings. Why, you may ask, did I decide to do Ratlings? Well, I saw an old white dwarf. I was reading through it. It's from 2010. I think it's just around the time that not this current Guard Codex, but the other one came out. And so they had the brand new Ratling models, and they seem to be in every battle report that I could find, even dating back. Whenever someone had Guard, more often than not, Ratlings appeared somewhere. And now no one really uses them anymore. Why? They're just not all that great. People are a lot more concerned, I think, with getting their points values back. And Ratlings just don't do it anymore. They're a great distractionary unit. They're great at sowing some chaos, maybe taking out some an important character, a sergeant, a heavy weapon guy once in a while. But for the most part, they're not all that great. So yeah, that's why this whole thing is about looking at units that don't appear very often. Ratlings are definitely one of them. So that's it for this time. As usual, if you like what you saw, like, share, subscribe. I'm still doing a Q&A sometime in the next couple weeks this month. So please, questions down below. Send them to my email at whotookmydice1@gmail.com. And until next time, guys, and I promise next time I will be doing a Xenos next time. I just decided to do this one because of what I saw. Boom, light bulb went on. Said, hey, we're doing Ratlings. I actually have a Ratling model somewhere, but I can't find it. Go figure. It's hidden somewhere in my bits box, which is probably good. That's what Ratlings are good at, hiding and not doing anything really important. So guys, until next time, I'll see you there. Keep rolling those dice.